So where I am right now is probably very familiar to you. Not necessarily the building that I'm in, but the place in front of the room. So I used to be a high school teacher. I taught middle school, or substitute taught middle school, but I used to be a high school teacher. I taught DC history, I taught geography, I taught world history, I taught U.S. government, and I taught U.S. history. Now that was in a short period of time, okay, because I only taught for 4 years. It's funny, my dad has taught in DC for 47 years, 49 years. So I say that we have a combined 53 years of high school teaching. Why am I telling you this? Because the reason I was telling you about the brevity of my time in classroom is because I loved elements of teaching. And I didn't like other elements of teaching. It wasn't so much the classroom management or interaction with parents or the paperwork or anything like that. I got caught up in the fact that what I really liked about teaching was creating. I liked creating lessons. I liked organizing it. I liked creating new activities, innovative activities. That is what I liked because, frankly, I was probably more interested in being a good teacher than teaching well, okay? I liked that idea. Now, that's not necessarily bad thing, good thing, but I've taught for 4 years, whereas, other people have taught for much longer and impacted more people. So why am I telling you this? Well, because I believe that technology has made it such where you can impact students well beyond your classroom. Now, you already know this. You have a student information system that you enter grades in. You may be entering in full lesson plans, full activities, etc. But about 10 years ago, I started teaching online. And what that meant at that time was probably doing recordings, audio recordings of workshops, and I just would make those available. And then I started doing video recordings of my workshops. I was teaching business at the time. I did video recordings of my workshops, and then I would share those out. I would have those transcribed. I would put together, I don't have any with me, I would put together a workbook for that, and I would share it. And I got very enamored of the idea that I was, as a teacher, right, I was teaching things. As a teacher, I was making a very good living. Now, most of it was online, but I was also then most of it was in person, but I was also then sharing it online. And I was like, this is fantastic because I enjoy the one-on-one connection or the one-on-group connection and that feedback, but then I can capture it and it can be teaching, impacting people without me there. And I've gotten a lot of interesting conversations over the years where people would come up to me and they'd start talking to me as if I knew them, and they'd respond to a question I raised, and I'm like, I've never met you. How is this possible? But what was the truth was that they had watched a video that I had done, and it for them was very personal. And so it's a very powerful medium, and it's grown obviously over the past 10 years. This was before YouTube that we were doing these videos online. It was certainly before any massive learning management systems and Google Classroom, etc. So why am I telling you this? The reason I'm telling you this is because I want to help you share your gifts with more people. Your gifts of having a really interesting way of teaching this specific topic, insights, creativity, personality, life experience, experience dealing with different types of kids or different types of parents. I want for you to be able to share more widely your gifts. And I want to make sure that you can do it in such a way where you can benefit in all of the income levels that are possible. There may be satisfaction income. There may be career advancement income. There may be psychic personal gratification income. And then there's also income. You are somewhere on this spectrum of understanding and being aware of how to monetize or how to benefit financially from your knowledge and willingness to help people get better at something or understand something. If you have ever done any tutoring, then you've probably seen that you can earn income outside of teaching. If you've ever worked at a camp or some sort of specialty program, you've probably seen that these organizations can charge money to parents, and the parents will pay their money to have their kids increase their ability or be taken care of or whatever. So what I want to do is see if we can introduce another venue for how that can be done, which is online. And this doesn't necessarily have to be exclusively online. You may teach something online, and the sole purpose of that is to increase your audience or your market for your tutoring services, or to increase your market for your one-day workshop on college prep, or for your drama camp, or whatever those things are. But I want for you to start taking the value that you're giving every day to your students, and in some cases, the stuff that you wish you could be doing with your students, but that you can't because of time constraints or because of classroom dynamic constraints that you can't do, or you did once 3 years ago and you really liked it, but you'd like to do it again. I want you to experience some of what I get to do, which is really a blank canvas of teaching, sharing, improving, and then watching what you get back in terms of aha moments. Now, sort of my journey was after I left doing the entrepreneurship teaching or the small business teaching, my kids were homeschooled. And so I wasn't part of it. I was working. So what I wanted to do was I have done a lot of computer programming in the past. I learned how to do web programming. I have some, as I said, background in teaching. So I had things that I wanted to teach, but I wasn't around to do it. So I said, well, I'll create an online course because I know how to do web programming. I've done a lot of online stuff in the past. I'll create an online course. So I created an online course, which was HTML 101, which is HTML is the language of the web. And it's basic web programming. It's kind of hello world type web programming. But it's cool because you can make a website do something. And then I have an advanced course behind that called CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheets. And that is how you make the web look a certain way. And then I have another course behind that called JavaScript or jQuery, which is a language that enables you to make websites do certain things. So I created this sort of 3-part course, and I started sharing the first part for free to the homeschooling community. And it grew. So we had, at the height of it, I think I had 15,000 students who had gone through the course. At one class, I did it on a monthly basis. One class was 2,000 students, right? That's an interesting ratio. And in that situation, I was not in front of the camera. I was not watching the kids do anything. I had recorded 14 videos, and then I had put together the code, the programming that they were to do, and it stepped them through the code, and then they could see their results, and then they did I created this entire course structure from scratch. And in retrospect, that may have been a mistake because there are lots of tools, some of which you may know, Teachable, Udemy, other tools like that can easily, and I think in many cases freely, enable you to create and leverage all the structure without having to do it yourself. But again, I'm a programmer. I like to do it. So I created this course and I shared it and got great response. Thousands of testimonials, very exciting. Then I created another course, which was a memory master course because I learned some memory techniques over the years as a teacher. And then I created this online diplomatic simulations. Think of it like a Model UN. Created that online. And I created this chess club and this stock market challenge, all of this stuff online. So I created a lot of stuff, and then I decided I wanted to I was working for an educational software company, and I decided I wanted to take that and do it all on my own. And so I offered it as the O'Leary Academy, the August O'Leary Academy, with all these courses. So the reason I'm telling you that is that I had the idea and I had some knowledge and I said I wanted to share that. So what I want you to do, and I want to help you with this, and this can either be exclusively this type of interaction with maybe some screenshots, screen capture, Word documents, templates, etc. Or it could be email, or it could be a conference call that we do, or it could be coming to the Entrepreneurship Center and doing some in-person either coaching discussions, or maybe doing some filming here where you can take your content and then make it available. Whatever it is, if you have a passion for teaching and you have a desire for your classroom to blow the walls out of the classroom and get more people, more parents and students to be able to benefit, to be able to experience what you're teaching, how you're teaching, your approach. And if that's it, then that's a noble, worthy goal that we can work on together. If you also are interested in how that might be able to lead to an additional income, I sold the class that I taught for $97. It was a 57 lesson class for $97. Okay. If you sold 10 $97 courses a month, that's an additional more money than you started with. But I see courses charged from anywhere from $0, which is absolutely awesome, to $200. But let's say you charge $10 for the course and you just made it available. Maybe that's an extra. Maybe it's a extra coffee, or maybe it's if you made enough, it's a car payment. But it could be enough to invest in college education for your kids. That's your call. And the real question, this is what I tell the businesses that I work with. Your job is not to think about how can I make more money. That's how you stay in business. But your job is to say, how can I serve more customers? Or how can I serve the customers I have better? And that's what I would say to you. How can you serve more students? Or how can you serve the students that you have better? One of the things that I'm going to recommend is that you could create a course and make it available for free for everybody who's in your class. Or even if you're feeling, especially generous, everybody in Fairfax County or everybody in your school district. Everybody gets access to that course for free. But people outside of it pay $10, $20, $50, $100, whatever that is. Now, we're going to talk about why you would do a course like this and what's your goal, or what's the purpose that it serves. This might just be something that you use to test out a potential lesson or activity or a way of teaching. It might be a way for you to attract students for your tutoring business. It might be a way for you to attract students for a camp that you're going to run or a workshop that you're going to do. It may just be, what we call in Ireland a mitzvah, right? Where you are sharing this because you want to share, because you're in the teaching business. Or it may be an income stream. But bottom line, what I want to do is, if you're interested in this type of thing, then I would like to invite you to reach out to me, and there's probably a button on this screen. I would like for you to reach out to me and come either join me online or come join me at an upcoming sort of group or workshop where we sketch out how this would work. And all of that will be on this screen. I'm kind of talking about this for the first time. So that's my invitation to you. And I'm excited about helping you share your gifts in the world and then watching what happens as some of our brightest, motivated, giving, community-oriented teachers come together, what type of content we can make available and what type of impact we can have in our community. All right? So I hope you'll receive and accept my invitation, and I look forward to talking to you soon.